Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall. This video is for Thursday the 25th of May and Friday the 26th of May. You may have noticed the last two videos have been 2 days in one. We are really at the arse end of the season now. There's not really anything going on for the next probably 2 weeks. We just got confirmation that the transfer window officially opens on the 14th of June. The new fixtures are coming out on the 22nd of June. In terms of like the next week, see this weekend is the last day of the Premier League. So what's going to be happening this week is we're going to find out who we're playing next season. We're going to have the last places confirmed on Saturday. The Championship Player Final takes place, so we'll find out if it's either Coventry or Luton we'll be playing next season. If it's Luton, can they sustain another push next season? Or will they start to fall away and give someone, maybe Millwall, a chance to get in the playoffs? And obviously Sunday, we have two from either Everton, Leeds or Leicester. I think Leicester are guaranteed. They have just, they're awful team, aren't they? And so it's going to be two of them. I would imagine if it's Everton and Leeds, that's going to be an absolute bonanza. It might be harder to get in the playoffs with that, but you never know. There might be a bit of a basket case. But I think one of them is going to be Leicester and maybe Leeds, but you never know. You never know. So we're going to find that out on Sunday, and then on Monday, which is again a bloody bank holiday, we are going to find out the last team that we're playing next season. Which will be the League One player final. It's Barnsley or Sheffield Wednesday. So either of them, both northern bastards. So I don't know, which one would you prefer? Probably Barnsley, because they're probably going to be weaker than Sheffield Wednesday. Not going to have a budget. They are a bit of a yo-yo club. So probably Barnsley, because we'll probably beat it more likely to beat. But nothing is guaranteed in the Championship. So that's what's coming up this week. So might not be a video every day, might be doubling up just for the next 2 weeks, and then once we start getting actual real confirmation of proper transfer rumours, not just weird shit that people make up, when we get some actual news, obviously bring that to you as well if anything happens. But probably for the next week at least, like next week is half term. I think a lot of people are going to be on holiday, nothing's happening. So it might be not a video every day, just like the last two videos have been 2 days per video, which obviously this one is as well. So let's get into it. Here we go. Bradshaw training with Wales. Again, these games don't take place until around about the 15th of June, I believe. So can't even talk about this, which you would think we've got George Saville playing for Northern Ireland, we've got Bradshaw playing for Wales. We've got Danny Mack. Will he get a call up for Ireland? He's in the training squad, but the training squad only involves EFL and LOI players. Doesn't involve Premier League or players in the Liga. So probably it might be pushing it for Danny Mack, but at least he's there or thereabouts. He's just outside the 23, so at least he knows he's in consideration. But we've got Bradshaw training with Wales. We've got a picture for him. Although they want to be known as Cymru now. They've officially changed the name to Cymru. They're not Wales. They got fed up with being. Confused with the gigantic Leviathan sea creatures. When people say Wales, what you mean? The things that live in the sea? No, the country Wales. So they've changed the name to Cymru. As far as I know, there are no animals called Cymru, so they might be onto a cracker with that one. So Millwall striker Tom Bradshaw has been training with Cymru this week ahead of Euro 2024 qualifiers in June. Yeah, 16th of June, 19th of June. Ooh, Armenia and Turkey. Ooh. Bradshaw linked up with his country back in March for the first time in 5 years. He will be keen to be named in Rob Page's squad for the upcoming qualifiers against Armenia on the 16th of June and Turkey the 19th of June. I think one of them is in Cardiff, so I think one's home, one's away. Page will name his squad on the 30th of May, so obviously that's next week. So I'll probably bring you details about that. Further details of this week's training camp can be found here, which goes to faw.cymru, and then you follow the links. No wonder he's smiling all the time. Look at that bulge. I'm no homo, but I mean, it's right in your face. So what can you do? Yeah, let's get off of that. Moving on to, as predicted last week, the old Mother Hubbard cupboard is dusty as a motherfucker. There's nothing in there. Lion store has been closed for refurbishment. Basically, it's closed because there's nothing to sell. So they're telling a little white lie, but that's fair enough. The Lion store is temporarily closed in preparation of the club's store launch with new retail partner Fanatics. Supporters will be advised in due course when the shop is set to reopen. The online store is currently offline for maintenance as previously communicated. Yeah, so they took it offline because there's no point putting stuff online because it will sell too quickly, and they literally had nothing to sell unless you're 5XL, 4XL. I got a 3XL, and actually it's I think that's like a European 3XL because normally I'm a 2XL, so they do come up a bit short. So don't be embarrassed about getting a 3XL. Yeah, they've got nothing to sell. They sold out. Obviously, a Hummel situation with Elite Sports Group collapsed, and they heavily discounted the stuff because they probably were worried that they wouldn't be able to sell it. But they probably sold it too well because obviously with the run that we're on, everyone's upbeat. They're still buying the shirts. A lot of tourists as well going to the games. They buy shirts and scarves and all that, so they cleared everyone out, especially with the prices. I don't know what's going on with the pound. Is the pound still low compared to other currencies? I'm not too sure. Probably should find out because obviously John Berylson, I assume, makes a lot of money in US dollars. So if the pound's low against the US dollar, that's probably good for us. Good for John Berylson. So, yeah, there you go. So obviously they need stuff to sell. There's no way in hell that the new shirts are coming out before July. So I mean, this could be closed for a couple of months. And what are the people who work in the store going to do? Where are they going? Where are they going? I don't know. But there you go. Moving on now to some actual football stuff. Pardon me. Oy, Jesus. Millwall manager on goalkeeper priorities with 2 senior players contracted beyond summer. The Lions could have 3 first-team goalkeepers on their books if third choice agrees new deal. Yeah, did you know we had a third choice goalkeeper? Connell Truman. Have you seen him? Could you pick him out of a lineup? This is from southernnews.co.uk. Pardon me. Gary Rowett said Millwall will be looking for opportunities to improve every area of the squad after being asked about the goalkeeping department. George Long, 29, and Bartosz Bieszkowski, who will be 36 in July, are under contract, while Colin Truman, 27, has been offered a new deal. If the latter signs on again, then the Lions would have 3 experienced goalkeepers in their ranks. Ryan Sanford, who hadn't made a senior appearance but had been part of the first team squad on occasions due to injuries, will leave this summer. They haven't given his age there, but I believe he's 24. So obviously, he's way older than the 21 limit for underage for the age restricted team, which is under 21s now. Highly rated professional development league stopper Joe Wright has also been offered a new contract. Long replaced Białkowski in the starting lineup last September, ending the latter's run of 147 consecutive championship starts. When you've been so close every area, it's about how we can progress, how we can move forward and improve, Rowett said. Oh, Jesus. I think it completely depends on opportunities in the summer. It's not an area that we desperately need to move forward in. But in every single position, if there's an opportunity to bring a player in that you feel can add value to the group, then of course we're always going to look at that. I'm sure a lot of you are not happy to hear that because a lot of you think that George Long is absolute fucking dog shit. So the fact that they're not looking to improve, yeah, so it might be one of them where we wait till we get to January, and if George Long is still being the George Long, we might have to let Gary Rowett know this is unacceptable. But I'm sure he will know that himself. Okay, moving on to this. This is also from the southernnews.co.uk. Millwall boss not ruling out keeping an eye on Leeds United fans. Sorry about that, everyone. Having a bit of a rough one here with my throat tonight. Millwall boss not ruling out keeping an eye on Leeds United's plans for defender and midfielder. Charlie Cresswell and Jamie Shackleton spent the 22-23 season at the Den. Gary Rowett hasn't ruled out monitoring the situations of Leeds United duo Charlie Cresswell and Jamie Shackleton over the summer after the pair spent last season on loan with Millwall. Centre-back Cresswell, 20, featured more regularly for the Lions, playing 30 times in all competitions and scoring 4 goals. Although Shackleton, 23, played more games, he started just 18 compared to 27 for Cresswell. Well, centre-back's going to start the game, and you don't sub centre-backs really. Unless you're bringing them on for a midfielder or an attacker to just add an extra player. We did a few times, but generally with Hutch or Ryan Willis. Since Rowett took charge in October 2019, Millwall have re-signed 5 loanees, either on loan again or on permanent deals. Ryan Woods, Mason Bennett, Scott Malone, Benica Phobie and Oliver Burke. And how did that work out? Mason Bennett, Scott Malone just been released. Benica Phobie walked out halfway through the season, go and play for a no-name team in the Middle East. And Oliver Burke came back and didn't really do that much. And Ryan Woods, who? What? Last season, the Lions had Cresswell, Shackleton, Burke, and Callum Styles on 1-year loan deals. Former Mill defender Sam Allardyce's Leeds going to the final game of the season at home to Tottenham Hotspurs on Sunday in second last place in the Premier League. Leeds need to win by 3 goals if ever draw for Bournemouth, and also that Leicester don't defeat West Ham United. Rat was asked about Cresswell and Shackleton. With all those players, you're always seeing what happens. What's the next step? Rat told News at Den. That will be out of our hands with all the loan players. They all go back to the clubs, and the clubs decide what is the plan moving forward for those players. It's very difficult to find out that early. A lot of those players will have good options if they're not staying at their current clubs for the next season. Therefore, we'll have those discussions and see where we are. But it's probably difficult to answer that definitively. So obviously Leeds situation. They've got 2 players here who are proving themselves in the Championship. They're probably going to have a load of players who want to leave because they're not in the Premier League anymore. And do they have a manager? Sam Allardyce is there. Has he just come in as a red Adair to try and keep them up? And if they don't stay up, or if they go down, is he still going to be there next season? And if he's not, then who's doing the deals? Who's deciding the squad? Do they have a director of football? I imagine they probably do from the Bielsa days, because that's how the foreigners like working. They just want to coach, and they let the other people do all the business stuff. But I don't know. You would think if that's the situation, then the deals may have already been done. I guess they're waiting to see what league they're in, which is fair enough. But I think Cresswell is out of our range. If we couldn't re-sign Danny Ballard, I mean, Cresswell's certainly going to be out of our range. Cresswell playing for the England under-21s, playing well against France. The game was on BBC. Yeah, like no chance, mate. Absolutely none. He's going to be at least 5 million, I imagine. And we'll just see. Maybe he just lets his if he doesn't. He obviously Leeds were trying to sell him to Stoke in the January transfer, and I think he turned it down. So if he doesn't want to leave, they can't force him to leave. So he can just run his contract out, and then he's free to go wherever he wants. And it will just be for the wages and a hefty signing on fee in his back pocket. So we'll see how it goes. But I mean, interesting situation, yeah. But again, we have to wait. So I'm sure nothing's going to happen for probably a month or so. Moving on to this, more stuff from this is from London News Online. Same situation. He's going to be a top-class centre-half. Millwall Loney's transfer future set to become clearer after Leeds' D-Day announced on Sunday. So it's basically more or less the same thing. I think there's a few extra lines of a quote. Millwall Loney Charlie Cresswell's future set to come into sharper focus after Sunday with his parent club Leeds United facing D-Day in the Premier League. The Yorkshire Giants have to beat Tottenham at Ellen Road to stand any chance of leapfrogging Everton and avoiding Championship football next season. If Leeds do fail to retain top flight status, then Cresswell's prospects of featuring for his boyhood club look set boosted. 20-year-old below finished his temporary spell with the Lions strongly before a fractured eye socket, which required surgery, ended his campaign at the start of April. Cresswell stayed in South London to support Mill's playoff push, which was snuffed out by a 4-3 defeat to Blackburn on the final day. Yeah, he was at the Player of the Year do, so better play to him. He's going to be a top centre half and a top player. Certainly in the second half of the season, we saw that oozing out. Rowett told the South London press. It was absolutely fantastic before his injury. It was a really big loss for us. It's not fair for me to comment on the club's position on their players, but I would imagine if Leeds are in the Championship next season, then he would have that experience and a chance of staking a claim for them. If Leeds are in the Premier League, then I suppose they may have a conversation which way they want to go. Charlie may be part of that, or he may not. He's developed well and shown what he's about. Another strong season next year, and he's not far away from being a Premier League player. We knew he was a big talent. He found the challenges of the Championship straight away. And it's not always easy to play the game in a certain way. You may have to be able to adjust and to learn some of the little nuances of it. I think he'll be the first one to admit that in the opening months of the season, he had some tough moments in games, but he performed really consistently throughout. He probably made better decisions as the season went on. Some of those big moments didn't happen in the second half of it. Therefore, you can focus on his really, really strong performances. Yeah. Just goes to show as well, the fact that he did learn what he needed to do as he went along, and he took that on board. So he's no dummy. He's like, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to do this, 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 and this. All right then, I'll give that a go and see how it works. Yeah, he did get better as he played more. The season went on, and certainly with the formation change, which with maybe he's better in a 3. He's better in a 2 rather than a 3. I don't know, but maybe that was a situation with the formation change helped him out. Now moving on to this, Gary Rowett. We got a quote from him talking about the under 21s win the other day. He was there. Absolutely brilliant. Millwall boss Gary Rowett sings praises of under 21s after PDL National Playoff Final victory. This is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Millwall manager Gary Rowett has spoken of his pride at watching the club's under 21 team win the National Professional Development League Playoff Final against Sheffield United earlier this week. Lamina and Okoli scored for the Lions as they won 2-1 in extra time. Then, first team boss Rowett was in the director's box to watch Kevin Nugent's team come out on top and cap off an excellent season in style. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have been prouder as a manager of football, Rowett told the South London Press. Seeing a group of players and staff who've worked so hard this season. About 3 years ago, they were training with about 6 players, and it was one thing. when we came in, we tried to push forward and give them the opportunity because there's some really good work being done at that level. You've seen that build? There he is there, look. Having all lot of fun there with the goalkeeping coaches all in front of him, Aldo behind him, and Steve Kavanagh too. He's and I think that fits to his left. For the first 30 minutes, we were outstanding, and then Aidomo, he misses a really good chance, an absolute sitter. And at that point, you're wondering whether it's going to come back and haunt us. They just kept getting stronger, and they showed character and quality. They showed a bit of everything. It was lovely to see them celebrating at the end, a deserved trophy, and a deserved big win. There were some really good individual performances as well. The likes of Chin, Nino, and Nana. There were some big performances from some of the younger players. They should be very proud. Nuji and Robbo, and the staff have done a fantastic job. Fair play to them. Yeah. Not only that, but it keeps forgotten as well because they didn't do as well. But the under-18s finished second in their league. They just lost in the semi-final away to Barnsley because they finished second there to play the champions of the Northern League away. And they conceded a goal right in the 93rd minute and lost 1-0. And if you think there are players in the under-21 squad who are still eligible for the under-18 league. Certainly Romain Esse was, maybe Tom Leahy as well. So if they had played in the under-18s, it could have been a different story. Maybe I don't know if they had the energy to play in both. If that wouldn't have been a real situation that happened, but the whole youth setup is doing a really good job. Yeah. Again, I've said the other day, the thing itself is good to see. It's glorious to see, but everyone's like, well, how many of them can make the first team? How many of them are going to play the first team? It's like, yeah, I understand. That's what basically what the point of it is, what it's for. But just to see them achieve what they've achieved has been something to behold. And if we can get 2 or 3 players from that squad, that would be something to behold. So, which ones though? You can name a few now, and you think, well, will it be them or will it be someone else? But you never know. It's just there could be an injury in the first team. Someone comes in and they take to it like a duck to water, and they get involved, and then they'd never look back. So we'll wait and see. So there you go. Gary Rowett was there. He had one whole time. He stayed until the end. They probably He probably had a run back to Canary Wharf. So now here we go. This is more of Gary Rowett on the academy, and what I've just said about the players making a step up. This is from summernews.co.uk. You always ask the question every summer. The Millwall boss on players aiming to make the step up. Millwall manager Gary Rowett said the question ahead of next season will be which players can step up from the professional development league squad and impact the senior setup. Kevin Nugent's side won the national title on Monday after beating Sheffield United 2-1 after extra time. Rowett was at the game at the Den along with Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh and Head of Football Operations Alex Aldridge. They were then involved in several board discussions this week as plans were put in place for the 23-24 campaign. 3 of Nugent's side remain Esse, Aidomo Emakhu and Nana Boateng, who have already been given their first team debuts by Rowett. And there have been several other impressive performers in the squad, including the likes of top scorer Abdul Malik and Chin Okoli, who captained the side and headed the winner against the Blades. Rowett will be keen to see which players can force their way into the senior reckoning when pre-season preparations start at Calman Road in June. What you're always looking for is some of those young players coming through, feeling like they have a chance of getting in and around the first team squad, Rowett told News at Den. We've certainly got some very good players. It proved this year that squad has been a little bit more competitive. He's had some older players in there who have had a little bit of time to develop. Obviously, Nugent and Robbo have done a really, really good job coaching and working with the lads. They're the positives. They're the sort of things that you're looking for. You always ask the question every summer, which players can step up? I thought they were really, really good in the games I've seen this season. they've been much stronger, much closer to the first team. Tip, typically, in particular, there's always that question among the 23s, 21s, mate. Which ones have done well? Which ones deserve to step up? It's always great to, as well, if players can see the progression, that pathway. It's something that we're keen on and worked hard to try and achieve as a club. I thought you could see it in the performance the other night. The players were excellent. They showed that little bit of Millwall grit and determination. Always a really high level of skill and ability as well. Really, really impressed. Indeed. Not only that, but if you look through their season, the games they lost away to Cardiff, they lost away to Reading, they lost away to Swansea. One thing in particular in those games is that I mentioned this before, but I'm just going to remind everyone because a lot of people don't really know. Last season it was under 23s. They changed it this season to under 21s because the Premier League got sick and tired of having to have contracted players up to the age of 24. They wanted to save some money, so they changed us. They forced us to change it to 21 as part of this agreement where they just give us free money. Which is weird. Premier League give out their free money. Everyone moans at them that they should be giving them more. So they changed it from under 23s to an under 21s. But the rules are normally, last season, even though it is under 21s, basically because it's supposed to replace the reserves, the old combination league, and you're old enough to remember that. They let you play 3 overage players in the outfield, and you can play an overage goalkeeper as well if you want. So you can have 4 overage players. Now, because of the change, they didn't want a load of 23 and 24-year-old players just dumped out of nowhere. So they said, okay, we'll change it. I don't know if they're going to change it back next season to 3 or if they just take it to 4 or what they're going to do. I guess that depends whether we keep players or what. But we've already offered them contracts, so it could be a situation where we've got contracted players that aren't actually playing under 21s. They changed it to 5 outfield players and 1 overage goalkeeper. Now, a lot of teams they took that as it was meant, in honesty and good faith, to play the 23 and the 24-year-olds and have you basically under 23s. But it's actually an under 21s. But in name only, you can still play. But the teams where Millwall under 21s lost this season, those 3 games that we only lost 3 games this season. The game at Reading, they played, I think it was 3 first team players who had played quite a few games for the first team. And most notably, Andy Carroll, 34-year-old, they played him in an under 21 game, and we lost that one. And the game against Cardiff as well, they played their kind of versions of Tyler Burry, who's like there or thereabouts, although we played him as well in our under 20 games, so a few of them at the end of the season when he wasn't playing. But Cardiff played about 3 or 4 first teamers as well. And in the Swansea one, they played 2 players who were on the bench for the first team on the Saturday, and then they played on the Monday. They started in the under 21s, but that wasn't as egregious. But certainly the games away at Reading and the games away at Cardiff, those teams played ringers, and that's why Millwall lost that game. So when they've gone toe to toe with players on their own level, they more or less they haven't lost a game. And they've only lost 3 games all season, so they were all away games. They're unbeaten at home. So yeah, absolutely stunning season from the under 21s. Not only that, but losing players through the start of the season, the good players, the better players. Bisart Topolodge went to Bromley. Isaac Loffey's gone to Stockport, and they're in the playoff final. So success for them, maybe. But yeah, so you've got 2 players who are playing for our under 21s, and then they left. One has become I'm not sure if he's first choice, but he's played some games for Stockport, and he's helped get them into the playoff final. And you've got one playing regularly for Bromley, so in the conference. So that's not bad. Moving on now to this. More on the youth. This is from Aidomo Emakhu. So Millwall forward knows he faces a big pre-season plus aim to emulate Danny Mack. Aidomo Emakhu will come back after the summer break, determined to earn a place in Gary Rowett's squad. I think it's supposed to be squad. Aidomo Emakhu has outlined his determination to be a regular in Millwall's first team squad next season and follow in the Lions' teammate Danny McNamara's footsteps with Ireland. Emakhu joined Mill from Dublin-based League of Ireland side Shamrock Rovers in January. He was handed his debut a month later by Gary Rowett as a substitute in a 1-1 draw against Burnley. A couple of injuries hampered his chances of more first-team involvement, but Emakhu ended the season on a high as he was part of the under-21 side that won the Professional Development League national title, scoring in the semi-final against Hull City. Emakhu is one of a number of exciting attacking players from Kevin Nugent's under-21 squad, with real ambitions and realistic chances of regular senior involvement next season. Emakhu knows what is at stake when the Lions return to Cymru in June. Pre-season is a big one for me, Emakhu said. It'll be my first pre-season in England. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm trying to get there. I want to hit the ground running. I'm going to work hard, and hopefully it rewards me with a spot in the squad next season. I really like playing out on the left, even as a centre forward. I can drift wide and get arm. I think that's my strongest attribute. I'm going at players and being direct. That's what I enjoy doing the most, and hopefully next season I'll be able to show that a little bit more. Emakhu landed in his home city of Dublin. You couldn't tell by the accent, on Tuesday evening for a well-deserved break and to catch up with family and friends, but he won't be putting his feet up just yet. Emakhu has been capped 4 times at under 19 level, scoring once. Sid Cup's Danny McNamara, whose parents are Irish, has been capped for the under 21s, and this month was called up by senior boss Stephen Kenny for a training camp in Bristol ahead of the Euro 24 qualifiers in June. There's an Irish under 21 camp coming up, Emakhu said. If I'm in it, I'm in it. If I'm not, I'm not. But I'm just going to keep myself ready for what might be coming. I want to try and stay ready and as fit as possible. I've spoken to Danny Mack. We've spoken at lunch after training a couple of times. He's been in a few squads. He's in a 4-day training camp in Bristol with the senior squad. I sent him a text and said, well done. He's had a good season. He's played very, very well, even the way he trains as well. I like having someone there in Millwall from the same place, though. I know, obviously, he was born in England, but he's representing the same international side. It's nice to have someone like that there to talk to. So there you go. So he's played in the under-19s, yet to feature for the under-21. So we'll see, but I think they've got quite a strong under-21s. They've got Premier League players. He has been playing for Ireland under-21s. He's been scoring for our under-21. But we will see if he gets in a squad or it's a camp. So there's not really any limitations. I suppose they could have like a 28 or 32 man training camp, but we'll see if he gets in it. Now, moving on to this. More post-match from the game the other day. I didn't know how to celebrate. Okoli on goal, which sealed Millwall's National PDL Trophy triumph. This is from the LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, which I believe is South London Press's online website. Now, South London Press gets published on a Friday, and on Friday they usually do these long interviews with people to fill the pages of the paper. So today they've spoken to Okoli. So here we go. We're going to get a full-length interview. Okoli says that his header, which sealed Millwall winning the National Under-21 Professional Development League playoff final, was the biggest goal of his fledgling career. The 19-year-old Lions skipper from Lewisham was left struggling to describe his emotions after their 2-1 extra-time victory over Sheffield United at the end on Monday night. Centre-back Okoli was signed by Millwall at the age of 11 converted from Nino Adamakis kick. I know it sounds weird, a bit weird, but before the cross came in, I felt like I was going to score. Okoli told the South London Press on Tuesday. I could just feel it. Seen the gap and headed it in. I saw the ball go in the net, but I thought to myself, is this real? It was the most surreal moment I've had as a player. I scored and froze. I didn't know what to do. I was just thinking, where do I go? My friend said I did about 5 different celebrations. I was just over the moon. I'm still hungover from a goal. I keep watching it. Even before you called me, I was watching it again on Instagram. It shows that although there are a lot of lows in the career, the highs always top it. And it gives me a reason to keep going. A crowd of 2,076 were in attendance, including first team manager Gary Rowett, chief executive Steve Kavanagh, and club record signing Zion Fleming. Now, Romain Esse had put the Lions ahead in the first half, being under-18 international, following up after Sheffield United keeper Luke Faxon could only parry Aidomo Emakhu's low strike. Emakhu failed to take the gift of an opportunity early in the second half, nudging Nana Boateng's low cross against the right post with the goal gaping. City Peck's equaliser, another close range finish after William Masulu's curling strike came back off the upright, took the tie into an extra half hour. But Okoli says that the atmosphere and energy from the stands helped as both teams began to badly fatigue and were left running on almost empty. It felt amazing to have that many people in the stands, he said. I can't really describe it. Everything you did, a tackle, a header, you could hear the fans, then making chants. And that helped us get over the line because times we were defending last ditch. They kept us going. They really were the 12th man. It was hard in extra time, but you just have to think about the end goal, yeah? There were 2 great sides playing for a big cup. It shows that everyone's got to put in 110% to get their win, and we did that on Monday. Okoli, whose brother Chucks is under 15, Crystal Palace, was spotted playing in Lewisham District. He was also trialling with the Eagles, but at the same time, Millwall ran the ball over it. They were both keen, but I felt Millwall were best because they showed me a pathway, explained Okoli. They prioritised me and made me feel more at home. Now I've got more of a place here. I came in as a midfielder, but then the coaches eventually said it suits me better to have the game in front of me. At first, when I was young, you think that defending is boring, but the more I played there, the more I started to enjoy it. Esse's involvement with Mill's first team in the 22-23 campaign shows that there is a chance for youngsters to break into the senior setup. Danny McNamara and Billy Mitchell are fairly recent examples of the academy system producing the goods. I'm not going to lie, it's everyone's dream to play for the first team, said Okoli. Of course, that's my dream as well, but for now I'm going to stay down and keep learning from the senior players and other players in the under-21s. I'll wait for my turn, that's the only way to make it. All of the first team are friendly and they talk to you and they dish out advice. When I train with the first team, and then George Evans and Longy, they'll help me, they'll talk me through training, they push me to do more. Mill under-21s collected the PDL Southern Division title with a 3-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday on the final day of the regulation campaign. The Lions also went to extra time in their 4-3 semi-final victory over Hull City last week. Mill came into Monday's final unbeaten in their last 10 matches, with the Blades losing just one of their last 11 fixtures. The Nugent side were out 2 of their leading scorers, with Tom Leahy, illness, and Seb Droll's broken 4, both unavailable. The Lions have not lost on home turf this season, whether that be at the Den or at the Calmont Road training base. Okoli took over the armband at the start of this year. I feel like this victory is testament to our whole season, he said. All of the backroom staff, they demand a lot from us, 110% in every training session. In all of our games, we've shown that we've got grit, but also quality. We've only lost about 3 games. We scored the most goals in the league, and we kept the ball out of our net as much as we can. We showed on Monday that we got both parts of the game, the quality and attacking side of it, but also the defensive part as well. We have the confidence to play our game. Millwall also won their respective under-23 and under-18 divisions in 2020, but never got to lift the trophy in public as the COVID-19 pandemic ended the campaign in April, and the final positions were determined on points per game method. Mill cannot be promoted as the academy is not Category 1 status, a requirement to play in Premier League 2. Okay. But I believe that it's still invitation only, so you can apply, we could be Category 1 station, finish mid-level in our league, still have to apply. I don't think you get promoted. I think it's just like invitation, like you have to be good at that level and then asked to join. But yeah, there you go, long form interview. From this Friday's South London Press, maybe pick up a copy if that way inclined. Now, last but not least, we're nearly there. Remember, this is a 2-day video, so that's why it's so long. Alex Mitchell to complete St Johnstone loan spell this weekend. Yeah, the final game of the season at St Johnstone. He's been on the bench a lot in the last bit of the campaign. So this is from millwallfc.co.uk. Millwall's Alex Mitchell will complete his 22-23 loan spell at St Johnstone this weekend. The defender was an unused substitute again in the Saints' dramatic 3-3 cinch Premiership draw over Ross County on Tuesday night, a result that kept the club in 9th place, where they will now finish the campaign. The McDermott Park outfit play their final game this weekend before Mitchell will return to SC16. So it's an home game. Will they play him? Maybe they'll. Don't know whether they'll rest players, or they'll just make a lot of substitutions, give people a chance to say goodbye. I don't know. Maybe they just treat it like a proper game. Yeah, there you go. So, bit of a varied season for Alex Mitchell. Started off quite well, scored against Celtic, and then found himself out of the team. And then St Johnstone sacked their manager because their results weren't good once Alex Mitchell was out of the team. So, why did they do that? I don't know. But then he's still out of the team now. So, there you go. And on that note, thank you for watching, and